Hi, I'm Nick Palmisciano.
And I'm Matt Finney.
And this is the Bad News Network. Kobe Bryant died this week along with his daughter and 7 other passengers in a terrible helicopter crash. The basketball star has been an icon for decades, and his death has shocked the world. Controversy quickly rose up after a military officer tweeted that he'd rather mourn the death of military members than Kobe Bryant. Others were quick to bring up Kobe's past rape allegations. Still others were mad with TMZ for publishing a report that this may have happened before it became official. In any case, people are allowed to feel any way they want about the situation. Our condolences go out to the family that lost their father and their husband, their daughter and their sister. And to Kobe Bryant, who influenced generations of people both in and outside of basketball, fair wind, sir. I do want to talk about something else regarding the Kobe Bryant issue. I think a lot of the feelings of angst or even anger from this situation comes from a fear and assessment of our own mortality. It's hard to think about friends that you've loved or even your own life and realize that you're going to depart this world largely unnoticed. It's really easy to get into that what does it all mean mentality and start feeling sorry for yourself and sorry for others. Try to think about it another way. There's a phrase in Latin, memento mori, which means remember you will die. It's a big pillar of stoicism, and it's something that I try to live by. Someday you won't be here, I won't be here. Everybody that we've ever known that knew us will also not be here. So in terms of the universe, we will have been forgotten. So when you think about it in those terms, the only thing that matters is the time we have right now and what we're doing with that time right now. Life is an absolute gift, both the highs and the lows. And no matter how young or old you are, it could all end in an instant. So live life like it's a gift. Work hard, love hard, be a better person than you were yesterday. Stay optimistic, get after it, try new things. Because whether you think there's a heaven at the end of all this, or whether you think life ends the second that our brain stops receiving signals, we owe it to ourselves to give it everything we have while we're here. We owe it to ourselves to leave it all on the table. So if you're always thinking to yourself that life will be good at some point, sometime in the future, or if only this happens, life will be good, you need to stop that right now. Life is good now. Treat it with the respect that it deserves. Kobe!
The U.S. Embassy in Baghdad was subjected to a mortar attack on Sunday. There were no casualties during the attack, but the dining hall was severely damaged. Iraqi officials condemned the attack and blamed uncontrolled militias for stoking tensions in the region. There have also been a number of similar attacks that have been launched but have dramatically failed without intervention. There are a number of speculative reasons as to why these attacks are occurring, but the main one being that some people just don't want peace in the Middle East.
Reports came out this week that a U.S. aircraft was shot down in Afghanistan. After pictures surfaced, the Taliban claimed that they had downed the aircraft and that there were many high-ranking U.S. officials aboard. General Frank McKenzie addressed reporters saying there was no indication that the aircraft had been attacked. He stated that incidents happen with aircraft all the time and released the names of the 2 pilots. The Taliban have claimed responsibility for many things in the past, including, but not limited to, the destruction of Alderaan. It looks like this is once again a situation where they had nothing to do with what transpired.
7 of the 8 gun control bills have been passed in the Virginia House of Delegates. Those bills are as follows. 1. Universal background checks. 2. Requiring owners to report a lost or stolen firearm within the first 24 hours. 3. Giving local government the authority to ban firearms at public events. 4. Red flag laws. 5. Limiting handgun purchases to 1 a month. 6. Anyone under a protective order can't own a firearm. And 7. Making it a felony to recklessly leave a firearm within reach of anyone who's 18 or under. I don't know. Nothing about these gun laws screams getting the guns off the streets like the rhetoric that the gun grabbers love to use. These literally are just in place to make gun owning and buying way more frustrating. But while these all might look like a series of pawing jabs, the Democrats in the Virginia House of Delegates are loading up to deliver that one big right-hand punch, which is the assault weapons ban. To recap, this bill defines even individual gun parts as an assault weapon and would basically make the majority of firearms illegal to own. It's written so vaguely that even the lawmakers attempting to pass this bill don't have the ability to articulate what it means. But meanwhile, the 2A sanctuaries that comprise of more than 90% of Virginia's counties have been warming up and limbering up their digitus medius.
You know, the finger.
Yes, I know the finger, Goose.
I'm sorry, I hate it when it does that. I'm sorry.
President Trump attempted a Middle East peace plan this week that incorporated standing up a Palestinian state that had a capital that included parts of East Jerusalem. Israel would maintain Jerusalem proper, and they would also maintain many of the West Bank settlements. The Palestinians have responded to this proposal with a day of rage, which frankly is very similar to every other day. So in a shocking twist of events, Jared Kushner was not able to solve an 85-year-old problem that is stacked to the nines with blood and carnage. Super weird. I really thought he had this one.
The coronavirus has been weighing not only on all the minds of concerned people all over the world, but also on the markets of the world's second largest economy. China has now confirmed at least 9,800 cases and 213 people dead from the virus. This means the virus has surpassed the SARS epidemic of 2003. Over 60 million people in Wuhan province, which is considered the epicenter of the virus, are on lockdown. Japan and several other countries have evacuated hundreds of citizens in an attempt to stave off the coronavirus. So far, Japan has reported 3 instances of the coronavirus coming from mainland China and have quarantined those people. The World Health Organization has declared a worldwide emergency for the spread of the coronavirus, which might be a little too late.
Brexit is finally done. The EU voted 621 to 49 in favor of the agreement that Great Britain set forth. So as of Friday, Britain will no longer be part of the EU. Lots of people are happy. Lots of people are sad. And some people wear funny hats when they're glad. Keep an eye on Scotland and Ireland, because if there are going to be any major issues, they're going to kick off in one of those two places. Either on the border between Ireland and Northern Ireland, or with Scotland actually departing from Great Britain altogether and joining the EU.
The FBI is investigating reports that Representative Ilhan Omar married her brother in 2009. Honestly, there's a whole bunch of ridiculous personal life dirt here, so I'll explain. That'll take too long. I'll sum up. She married her brother to get him a green card, but then she lied about it, calling him a British citizen. Then she remarried the guy with whom she has 3 kids with. Then she divorced him because she was cheating on him with the marketing guy for her campaign, which she is now under investigation with for misuse of campaign funds. And now we're all caught up.
Connecticut Democrats have proposed starting a new state police that only deals with right-wing extremists. State-run special police that only go after a certain group of people. Where have I seen this before?
Unerbittliches Gericht zu halten, unser deutsches Vaterland, unser deutsches Volk, unser heiliges Reich der Zukunft.
Yep, that's where. It looks like Connecticut's starting to take their cues from Virginia. We gotta do something about those pesky constitutional rights, and the best way to do that is to make anybody that disagrees with you a criminal and put them in special camps. Super strange that nobody brought this up when Antifa was essentially beating up senior citizens that disagreed with them. It's a crazy-ass time when state officials are trying to make themselves untouchable by the very people whose rights they want to diminish. Speaking of which, Matt's about to talk about the 75th anniversary of Auschwitz.
Right you are, Nick. January 27th marked the 75th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz in 1945. Over 200 survivors and their families attended a service to remember the people lost and to celebrate the liberation of the camp. Many survivors spoke, as did numerous European officials. One speaker, Ronald Lauder, president of the World Jewish Congress, warned that he had seen an uptick in hatred against the Jews. He warned that the world should not be silent, not be complacent, and that it should never let it happen again to any people.
There's a Super Bowl this weekend, but for the first time in the history of football, the Patriots are not in it, so no one really cares. I'm torn between wanting Kansas City to win so my friend Kelly Krieger can finally get that W he so desperately wants, or whether I want the 49ers to win so Jimmy G gets his first. Actually, the Patriots aren't in it, so I revert to my first sentence. I don't care, and no one should care.
The chairman of Harvard University's chemistry department, Charles Lieber, a pioneer in nanotechnology, was arrested this week. He is essentially charged with espionage. He lied to the Defense Department about his involvement with a Chinese program called Thousand Talents Plan. According to reports, Lieber had been receiving significant cash incentives from China. This was to the tune of millions to give R&D reports and breakthrough information on technology. China had set up his own Chinese bank account as well as giving him hard cash when he arrived. There were also a number of similar but unrelated cases. A Chinese researcher at Boston University was discovered to have lied on her visa about being an active lieutenant in the Chinese military. Another Chinese researcher was arrested at the airport after it was discovered he was trying to smuggle out vials of bioresearch. There have been many such occurrences, all in the chemistry, nanotechnology, biomedical research, computer research, and overall technology sectors. Analysts have stated that China has been conducting heavy, non-typical spying efforts in an attempt to siphon the U.S. technology advancements to their own country.
Last year, a Florida man went viral when he got entangled in a brawl wearing an Easter Bunny costume. Well, folks, that same Florida man is back. Antoine McDonald drove his motorcycle through a stop sign and crashed into a carport before getting back on the bike and speeding off. Following leads, police finally stopped off at Antoine's house to question him. When they did, Antoine was found wearing his bunny costume and screaming, "I'm the Orlando Easter Bunny, Google it!" Police were unamused and they booked Antoine for hit and run, a suspended license, and driving a motorcycle without a license. Looks like Orlando Easter Bunny Antoine will be unable to fight his way out of this one like he has so many times in the past. In the meantime, perhaps he could try hopping on a bus. And with that, I'm Nick Palmisano.
And I'm Matt Finney.
And this is the Bad News Network. Our news is at least as bad as the news you're getting already. And oh, by the way, we didn't cover impeachment this week because it's still a total pile of crap and really nothing good has happened. Maybe something will, and we'll cover it next week. Also shop at rangerup.com because without it, this show wouldn't exist.